Hello, this is Nightline and I'm Raymond Go. News making the headlines. Bersatu's frozen accounts. No government interference in MACC probe. And government announces affordable broadband package for B40. Good morning. Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim on Thursday stressed that the government does not interfere in the investigation related to the freezing of the Bersatu account by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC. He said enforcement bodies such as the MACC and the judiciary are independent to carry out their responsibilities. Therefore, according to the Prime Minister, it is better for Bersatu leaders to explain the source of the million ringgit funds in the party's account, instead of hurling allegations that the investigation was at the instruction of the government.
Yang dilakukan oleh SPRM itu tidak tertakluk kepada pandangan saya. Dia lakukan siasatan yang rapi yang didapati dalam akaun parti dan mencecah lebih 300 juta ringgit. Tentulah harus dijelaskan. Ya. Jadi harus pimpinan parti, sekiranya mereka benar bersih seperti mana yang diceritakan, dia kena jelaskan kepada badan penyiasat mengapa dalam masa singkat begitu boleh mengumpul wang sebegitu banyak, dari sumber mana, dan kepada siapa itu.
Dato Sri Anwar was speaking to the media after chairing the cabinet meeting in Putrajaya. A day earlier, MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki confirmed that the graft busters have frozen Bersatu's accounts. The anti-graft body chief said the accounts were frozen to enable the MACC to investigate funds. The investigations were under the MACC Act 2009 and Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001. Meanwhile, Dato Sri Anwar, who is also PKR president, said that his party would not have a problem to disclose its accounts if requested by the MACC.
Kalau SPRM mendapat laporan dan siasat, saya tidak ada masalah. Ya. Dan akaun-akaun itu dikirim, ya betul. Yang diaudit itu dikirim, dihantar kepada ROS mengikut jadual yang ditetapkan tahunan.
2 days ago, Dato Marzuki Muhammad, former Principal Private Secretary to Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, urged PKR and DAP to disclose their accounts. In the meantime, Bersatu will send a letter to the MACC to request the graft buster to lift the freeze order on the party's bank accounts. Its president, Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, said the party needed access to its funds for the upcoming state elections in Pulau Pinang, Selangor, Negeri Sembilan, Kedah, Terengganu and Kelantan.
Mana bila dah beku akaun, kami sebagai pertubuhan politik yang penting dan besar ni, tak ada duit lah. Nak membayar gaji, pentadbiran bukan saja untuk sebulan, untuk sepanjang masa. Kalau dia sekarang ni dikatakan beku untuk 3 bulan. 3 bulan bersusah. Kalau pegawai saya tak ada gaji, nak maintain pejabat tak boleh, nak bayar sewa tak ada.
In a media conference on Thursday, Tan Sri Muhyiddin also maintained that the party's financials were all in order and had been audited. On Wednesday, MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki confirmed that several bank accounts belonging to Bersatu have been frozen to assist in an investigation. It was believed that the action is related to the MACC's investigation into the alleged misappropriation of 600 billion ringgit in funds used by the government when the country was dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. In a separate case, the MACC has identified 90 people who allegedly received cash in Terengganu to vote for a particular political party in the 15th general election GE15. Its Chief Commissioner, Tan Sri Azam Baki, said the Commission urged the 90 individuals to come forward and go to the nearest MACC office to assist its investigations into the vote-buying claims. In a brief statement on Thursday, Tan Sri Azam said the MACC investigation team will need some time to find them because not all of them reside in Terengganu, as some were outstation voters. However, he did not name the political party implicated in the vote-buying allegations. Previously, several video clips went viral on social media, allegedly showing leaders from a particular political party handing out cash to voters in Terengganu during GE15. Last month, Tan Sri Azam confirmed that the Commission had opened several investigation papers after receiving complaints on the vote-buying claims. Meanwhile, PAS said it was ready to give its full cooperation to the MACC with regards to its investigations in the vote-buying allegations in Terengganu during GE15. Its Vice President, Datuk Sri Ahmad Samsuri Mokhtar, who is also Terengganu Menteri Besar, confirmed on Thursday that so far no one from the party's leadership had been summoned by the graft-buster to assist in the probe.
Tapi saya rasa SPRM akan menjalankan siasatan dengan telus, insya-Allah. Kita pasti siapa yang dipanggil dan sebagainya. Setakat ini belum ada. Kita bersedialah kalau untuk bersedia kerjasama dengan SPRM dan mana-mana agensi kerajaan.
PAS had previously come under fire after video clips allegedly showing party leaders handing out cash to voters in Terengganu during GE15 went viral. When responding to the claims, Party President Tan Sri Abdul Hadi Awang said that those caught on video handing out money to voters were just ordinary people who were doing it in the name of charity and not the candidates themselves. However, Tan Sri Azam later said the MACC would probe any form of bribery based on the law, not personal interpretation. The Unity government on Thursday announced the Fixed Internet Broadband Unity Package, which is aimed at helping the B40 households, veterans, persons with disabilities and senior citizens to enjoy broadband services at a lower price. Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadzil said the introduction of the package was in line with the government's commitment to reduce the people's cost of living. In a statement, Fahmi said that the package offers internet services with speeds of up to 30 megabits per second, along with unlimited data that costs only 69 ringgit a month. He also said that the package will be available from next month onwards with a 24-month subscription contract and will be offered by existing fixed internet broadband service providers, namely Telekom Malaysia, Celcom, DG, Maxis, U-Mobile, YTL, Time Berhad and Astro. The minister pointed out that the initiative was not only in line with the government's aspiration to alleviate the people's burden, but also an indicator that the unity government and service providers really cared about the people's needs and well-being. Apart from that, it was also part of the efforts to ensure more comprehensive digital connectivity at a much lower price in line with the concept of Malaysia Madani. The Spanish Constitutional Court on Thursday rejected an appeal by a group claiming to be the heirs of the Sultan of Sulu regarding the cancellation of Gondoza Stempa's appointment as arbitrator in the dispute case between Malaysia and Sulu. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Law and Institutional Reform, Datuk Sri Azalina Othman Said, in a statement said the government received official confirmation that the constitutional appeal filed by the claimants has been rejected. As a result, she noted that the annulment of Stempa's appointment, which was already final and binding, has also been confirmed by the Spanish Constitutional Court. She said the Spanish Constitutional Court rejected the claimants' constitutional appeal on the grounds that the claimants had withdrawn their claim to appoint an arbitrator following the annulment decision by the Madrid High Court of Justice in June 2021. Following that, she pointed out that they had voluntarily abandoned the proceedings, which served as the basis for their constitutional appeal. She also said that the annulment meant that Stempa lacked the authority to act as arbitrator and ought to have immediately ended the purported arbitration proceedings. In March last year, Stempa made 2 purported arbitral awards claiming that Malaysia had reneged on a 144-year-old agreement signed in 1878 by the then Sulu Sultan that granted sovereign rights to parts of Sabah in return for an annual token payment of 5,300 ringgit. Malaysia, which had been paying the sum, halted the payment in 2013 during former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak's administration following the armed incursion of Lahad Datu by more than 200 militants believed to be linked to the Sulu Sultanate. The then government claimed the invasion caused a breach of the 1878 agreement, which the heirs disputed. Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim has proposed for private companies to take over technical and vocational education and training TVET programs. The Prime Minister said this will help prevent any mismatching of training and will address what is needed by industry players.
Kita ada TVET atau Institut Latihan di Pengerang. Maka kita akan minta diambil alih oleh Petronas untuk melatih, mengurus dan menggunakan kepakaran memenuhi keperluan Petronas. Kita ada di RB Highcom di Pekan. Maka dari bidang automobil dan yang berkaitan itu boleh mengambil alih dan menjalankan.
He said the Cabinet has a committee led by Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, which will identify additional steps and more private companies to help with this initiative. The move, he added, will help solve some problems of mismatching of training that is not needed by the industry or unsatisfactory services. Datuk Sri Anwar, who is also the Finance Minister, said he will explain more during the retabling of the 2023 budget on the 24th of the month. The Kuala Lumpur High Court has ordered former Prime Ministers Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, as well as 3 others, to file their defence over a suit filed against them for alleged abuse of public office and negligence in connection with the termination of the Kuala Lumpur-Singapore High-Speed Rail HSR project. All of them were ordered to file in their defence statements on February 28th at the latest. Apart from the 2 former Prime Ministers, the 3 other defendants named in the suit are former Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Economy, Datuk Sri Mustafa Muhammad, former Transport Minister, Datuk Sri Wee Ka Siong, and the government. The suit was filed by 47-year-old Muhammad Hatta Sanuri, who was also ordered by the court to file the reply to the statements of defence by March 28th. The court also set March 30th for further case management. The case management was conducted online before Senior Assistant Registrar Nur Shasha Hidayah Nur Azhar on Thursday. Muhammad Hatta filed the suit on December 30th last year on behalf of himself and more than 32 million Malaysians who were affected and disappointed by the waste committed by all defendants for allegedly terminating the HSR project. He's also seeking a court order to declare the cancellation of the project null and void, as well as for all the defendants to pay 1 million ringgit compensation to him and all Malaysians for wrongfully and negligently cancelling the HSR project. On January 1st, 2021, Malaysia and Singapore announced the termination of the 350-kilometre HSR project as the 2 countries failed to reach an agreement on changes proposed by Malaysia before the expiry of the project agreement on December 31st, 2020. Accordingly, Malaysia paid 320.27 million ringgit to Singapore for costs incurred for the development of the HSR project.
The slowing global growth. Will Malaysia avert a recession this year? To ensure the people's well-being and the economy, how to whip up practical solutions fast. Malaysia's near-term focus on the economy and consumer confidence. Also on China's reopening and monetary policies. I will be speaking to the World Bank this Saturday at 5 p.m. only on TV3.
When Nightline comes back, Zionist regime hits Gaza with airstrikes. Stay with us. On to the foreign front now. The Israeli military has launched air raids on the besieged Gaza Strip on Thursday as fears over escalating violence continue in the region. According to local security sources, the first strikes, at least 7, hit a training center of the Ezzedine al-Qassam brigades, located in al-Maghazi refugee camp in the central Gaza Strip, while the second round of airstrikes targeted the al-Qassam brigade's training center southwest of Gaza City. Hamas spokesman Hazem Qasem called the Israeli strike a continuation of the cycle of aggression against the Palestinian people. The Zionist regime has been carrying out nearly daily raids in the West Bank for a year, in which 35 Palestinians, both fighters and civilians, were killed by the Israeli army in January alone. The United States and the Philippines announced an agreement on Thursday to expand America's military presence in the Southeast Asian country, with U.S. forces granted access to 4 more Philippine military camps, effectively giving Washington new ground to ramp up deterrence against China. The agreement, made public during U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin's visit to Manila, does not mean the re-establishment of permanent American bases, but Austin noted that it is a big deal. In a joint statement, the allies said substantial progress has been made in projects at 5 Philippine military bases, where U.S. military personnel were earlier granted access by Filipino officials under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement. 2 of the additional camps are in Sagayan province, across a sea border from Taiwan, the Taiwan Strait, and southern China, while other camps along the country's western coast, including in the provinces of Palawan and Zambales, which face the disputed South China Sea. In Vienna, 4 men have been given long jail sentences for being accomplices to murder in a deadly terror attack by a lone gunman in the heart of Austria's capital in November 2020. While police said the gunman Quitim Fejulai, who held Austrian and North Macedonian nationality, carried out the attack alone, the 6 defendants were accused of providing help beforehand. In an overnight ruling, the court sentenced 2 of the 6, including the man who sold the attacker the assault rifle used in the attack, to life in prison for being accessories to murder, whilst 2 others received sentences of 20 and 19 years. The remaining 2 were found guilty of being members of a terrorist organization, but acquitted of being accessories to murder and sentenced to 2 years in prison, partially suspended. Fejulai went on the rampage in Vienna's busy nightlife area, known as the Bermuda Triangle, shooting dead 4 people and wounding 23 others. sports football, the DFB Pokal Cup. Bayern Munich put their recent unimpressive form behind them to hammer Mainz 4-0 and book their place in the last 8. Eric Choupo-Moting put Julian Nagelsmann's team on the way with a 17th minute opener, finishing off João Cancelo's inviting cross. Jamal Musiala doubled the advantage in the 30th minute before Leroy Sané made it 3-0 14 minutes later, with Choupo-Moting the provider. Alphonso Davies rounded off a fine performance from Bayern as he nodded in Joshua Kimmich's cross 7 minutes from time, sealing a convincing 4-0 win. To cap a rotten night for Mainz, substitute Alexander Hack picked up a red card in the 86th minute. In another match, holders Leipzig went through to the quarterfinals after a 3-1 win over Hoffenheim. Leipzig took the lead after just 8 minutes when Emil Forsberg curled in a spectacular long effort from outside the area before Konrad Laimer doubled the advantage 4 minutes before the break, scoring another fine effort. Kasper Dolberg pulled a goal back for Hoffenheim in the 77th minute, but Timo Werner secured a place in the last 8 with a strike 6 minutes from time for a 3-1 victory. The draw for the quarterfinals will be held on February 12, 2023. Still on football, the Liga Portugal now. FC Porto had their coach, assistant coach and a player sent off in an ill-tempered match, but they still came away with a 2-0 win at lowly Maritimo. The clash went on for almost 50 minutes without any goal despite 4 red cards shown. Porto's assistant coach, Vitor Bruno, was the first to go in the 30th minute before Bernardo Fola was shown a second yellow card for a foul on Brian Riascos. Porto coach Sergio Conceição was then shown the exit, with Maritimo's Pablo Moreno getting the marching orders just before the break. Wendell broke the deadlock for Porto 5 minutes into the second half with a left foot shot from outside the box. Maritimo went in search for an equalizer, but it was Porto who went on to seal the win, thanks to Wenderson Galeno's effort in the 55th minute. With a win, Porto climbed to second in the standings with 42 points, 8 points behind leaders Benfica. Man arrested on suspicion of trafficking drugs. This and more after the short break. Nightline continues. Selangor police have seized the various types of drugs estimated to be worth over 6.3 million ringgit following a raid at an illegal drug processing laboratory in an industrial area in Sri Kembangan. A 44-year-old man from Subang was also arrested on suspicion of processing and trafficking the drugs during the raid on Friday.
Suspek menganggur dan dia juga pernah membawa Grab lah. Dipercayai suspek belajar melalui YouTube lah.
According to authorities, the seized drugs, which included 123 kilograms of MDMA, 0.5 kilograms of shabu, and 18 bottles containing drug powder, were believed to be for the Klang Valley market. Also seized in the raid were 3 drug processing machines, 10,000 ringgit in cash, and 2 vehicles. It was believed that the suspect was active since a year ago and rented the premises under another company's name to mislead the authorities. The man was also believed to be earning between 10,000 and 15,000 ringgit a week from the drug operation. The suspect has been remanded for a week until Friday to assist investigations under the Dangerous Drugs Act. In Malacca, a couple was charged in the Ayakaro Sessions Court with 6 counts of trafficking various types of drugs, which included ketamine. Lee Wee Kang and his wife, Piman Mat Chai Songkram, aged 34 and 30 respectively, only nodded when the charges under the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952 were read out to them before Magistrate Shada Shina Muhammad Sulaiman. The couple was alleged to have committed the offence at an apartment unit at Jalan Merdeka Garden City last January 20th. They were also jointly charged with the same act for possession of cannabis at the same time, date and place. The couple pleaded not guilty to the charge, which provides imprisonment of up to 5 years and whipping of not less than 3 strokes if found guilty. Lee was also charged with another count of drug trafficking involving 3.91 litres of ketamine in front of the Straits Emerald Tower apartment on the same day. The court set March 15th for mention for submission of the chemist report. In Kedah, Wildlife and National Parks Department has captured a sun bear that wandered into a paddy field in Kampung Selengkoh on Thursday morning. Its director, Jamalun Nasir Ibrahim, said a female sun bear weighing about 90 kilograms was believed to have come from a forest area in Gunung Jerai. The villagers alerted Yan Fire and Rescue Station after spotting the sun bear at 10:15 a.m. A team was then deployed to carry out rescue work. During the process of capturing the sun bear, a 27-year-old firefighter, Muhammad Nizam Hamid, suffered injuries and was sent to the Yan Hospital for treatment. The bear was captured using tranquilizers with the help of the Fire and Rescue Department and the Civil Defense Force. It was believed that the female sun bear came out of its habitat in search of food and was disoriented after going into the village. The bear was then sent to the National Wildlife Rescue Center in Sungai Perak for further examination. Fans with some deep pockets can take home some event-worn items from stars like Cher, Taylor Swift, Katy Perry and many others in the Music Cares Charity Relief Auction. As we wrap up, let's take a look at some of the iconic auction pieces. With that, I'm Raymond Go. Thank you for tuning in and be safe.